work that EBASE is doing is really about building the people power. And so bringing all of us together, really rooting in our hope of what's possible. What do we dream of for our kids and our neighborhoods and our communities? Like, that's the power of what we're doing and the real potential of the change that we can create in the East Bay. EBASE stands for East Bay Alliance for a Sustainable Economy, and we are a community organization working here to create a thriving East Bay. We really envision a place where all jobs have dignity, where all people's labor is meaningful, where housing really is a human right and homes are affordable and abundant and accessible, where everybody has what they need to thrive, and where everyday people really have decision-making power in our communities and in our workplaces. Through that, we think we can really advance a much more racially and economically just community.
We are building healthy coalitions where we are engaging our community members, hearing directly from them and their voices of the pain they're suffering, and then turning that into policies, and then being directed by our community members to work on these policies and to build these coalitions of other allies and partners so that we can have strategic campaigns and win. And it turns into material benefit and gain by people getting good jobs, by people being housed, by connecting with tenant protections, and any form of discrimination. We're attacking those things at the root level.
The reality is for a lot of people, it's really hard to get by right now, right? Like, jobs don't pay enough, rents cost too much, and a lot of families are struggling.
A lot of the challenges that tenants face here in the Bay Area is rent increases. 10% is a lot. Like, if you're paying a $2,000 rent, you're gonna have a $200 rent increase. And that's only talking about if it's a $2,000 rent. We know that rents are more expensive right now. Like, for a 2-bedroom, it's $2,300. So a regular family cannot survive. It has to be 2 people working, and not just one job, but multiple jobs. And our groceries are really expensive. So now it's, I pay my rent, or do I buy the gallon of milk, right? So they're facing all of those challenges. On top of that, getting harassed by their landlords. So there's a lot of challenges right now.
What actually brought me to EBASE, I was probably at one of the lowest points in my life. I had just got released from prison after serving 21 and a half years. I was going to school, got a great job, and the day I was supposed to be on the job, I was fired. And I was devastated. All my hopes and dreams was in I'm gonna get a good job, it's gonna work, I'm gonna get stability, and then was snatched up from under me. I ended up meeting a really good friend that worked at EBASE at the time. And then she said, you should turn your story into your glory. You should use your pain for your gain and make sure ain't no one else gonna suffer those type of conditions. So I would later get involved with EBASE and join one of the biggest campaigns and proudest moments of my life, which is a port campaign, and we ran one of the biggest ban-a-box job policies in the state of California.
We have worked over these years to really build the power and voice of workers and tenants and Black and brown communities, and have built a real track record of winning concrete change. EBASE has set out our long-term agenda for the next 10 years. We're focused on creating a thriving East Bay, and to get there, we've identified 3 pathways. So one is housing is a human right, so really building up the voices of tenants to change how housing works. Second is worker power and liberation, so that workers have more voice in their workplaces and in our economy. And third is community governance, that we're bringing more decision-making power to our communities.
It's important for EBASE to have climate justice in our long-term agenda so that we are addressing the most impacted people in our community. We need to center racial justice in all things because we know the most marginalized community members are Black and brown people. Then we know that this fits into our racial justice strategy as well.
Hope is a discipline. But I can believe that something will be better. But it matters not if I don't have the tenacity to get it done.
Housing is a human right, fight, fight, fight. Housing is a human right, fight, fight, fight.
Recently in Concord, we just won a rent control and just cause. On top of that, we were able to organize this building. A lot of people were scared, and at the beginning it was not easy. It's not easy to organize these tenants, but all 60 units were able to get the rollback and credits of all the months that were paying extra money. And just to see their faces, and everybody was just like, gracias, gracias, muchas gracias. Just that, I feel like it touched me.
We're so excited about EBASE's long-term agenda for a thriving East Bay, and we know we can't do it alone. So join with us, come and learn more about how you can be a part of building people power and creating broad coalitions, because we know that's what it's going to take to win and create a thriving East Bay for all.